Hey guys, it's T-Bone back. And I've been thinking about my last video. Got a few views there, but we're not here to talk about it. We're here to talk about Dungeons and Dragons. And I've been wanting to share with you a grand story about actually it's a new recent campaign I've been working on with my friends. Been playing about 3 hours. About uh, but anyways, um let's get to it. Well, anyways, my group started basically a tavern type place where it's kind of like one of those places where there's a lot of traffic and all that, and there's a few houses and shops. It's a busy route, and merchants come sell like items of quantities like food, stuff like food, clothing. That's how I kind of like sum it up right there. I've done a lot of stuff for that, so if you guys want a full description on that, I'll have to write it down before I talk about it because I never do. I just talk about my campaign off memory. But anyways, um, my characters, one is named David. He is, believe he's human. I have to double check on that, but he's like a human, and we have Regorock. That's a female golden dragonborn. And that I don't like. Like I hate how dragonborns have their breath ability and all that, because then they can overuse it or something, or ruin my campaign. For and they start off as level 1, by the way, and soon they started chatting. They spent a while. They bought each other a few drinks then and there, and then they seen this one, female. She had long hair, and she had pale skin, and she was like in the dimmest part, away from all windows, and all that type thing. My characters go up to her, and well, right away, this character gets them off topic and everything. Like she gets at them and like, you guys seem trustworthy and stuff like that. And looks at this my one character, the human, about, you look familiar. Maybe seen you before. And as this goes on, comes apparent that she seen him. And this human, by the way, he's a sorcerer that served in like a magic type unit in the military. So, and they met on the battlefield. She spared him, and that's what it looked like by then, because that's all he could remember on top of his head. And we had to actually go back to their backstories. And because I'm trying to roleplay, and they were trying to roleplay, but they didn't fill out their backstory well enough. So I helped them do that a little. I'm actually still helping one of them out. And as the story progresses, it became apparent that, she's a vampire, and the reason why she needed them wasn't because of blood or that. It's because she can't go out in daylight. She wanted people to travel with her, and she will hide like in a basket or something while they carry her around basically on horseback. And she recovered the horses. And me, I was doing like 10 gold a piece for a horse to use. Like, if you can give it back to, like, because why not? And they were pretty run down horses too, so they weren't like top of mind. They were pretty old horses that probably had their day out of them. And they gave the horses rest and all that for a day. And then when they went out, something strange happened when they stopped for camp, and when my Dragonborn and the human were asleep. And I'm just gonna give them names: Ragnarok and David. And sorry, I think I said that before, but I'm not sure. But anyways, David and Ragnarok didn't know this, but they hear noise like battle and men dying, and they see this huge shadow. And the person that was keeping watch was the vampire, and her name's Skylar, by the way. And once they exit out of their tent, and I don't know why they did that. Like, I was hinting you shouldn't, but they did anyways. And it has a. Actually, the human, by the way, David, he peeked a little and found something strange. Strange thing that he found was, in fact, she transformed into a dragon. And, like, I made this custom class, and it makes sense for the class. And, or it could be illusion. They thought it was illusion, but I had a homebrewed class, and if they pick a fight with her, they would have been dead. It would have been a total massacre. And I was like, oh no, I wish I looked at their alignments before having her be this close to them. Because if they pick a fight with her, she would die. Like, they would die. And she can massacre them. That's one thing I did wrong. And. As my character's trying to decide what to do, she turns back into, well, her original form. And she still has some of her clothes on. Like, the long sleeve stuff she had on ripped. But she still had, like, her shirt. It was now more like a muscle shirt for a female. And still, some of her lower pants, like below the kneecap, ripped from her transformation. And I'm just saying some of it ripped because we were doing this at school. And while they were fine with me doing stuff like this, and me, I'm doing stuff that makes sense. Like, if, let's say, like, someone just tried stripping a female's clothes off, I'm just going to explain what it looks like. Not really, but figuratively. But anyways, let's get back to it. And has my character, she turns back and she's like, oh, you're so cute, but we need to get. And has this, the sun's coming up little by little, and it's becoming dawn, and she can be out during the dawn time. Like, it's like when it gets brighter and brighter out. It's like, let's say the sun starts rising up at 7 and starts getting lighter out. She can't be out past, like, an hour or two, depending on how bright it is. Like, it'll hurt her skin, and she gets into her box, and they got her a box. One of them watched Demon Slayer. Yep. One of my characters did that. Demon Slayer. But, anyways, they put her in the box. And when they were going, and I rolled for checks, because why not? Like, it could have been something scary or something that could attack them, but I rolled pretty low, and out of 100, like, I done, like, I have to look back on my sheet, but for seeing encounters, seeing what could potentially be an encounter, I have to count that and all that. So, and as my group went to one of the cities, they were, well, heading to, I think it was Drake. One of the cities called Drake. And it was a pretty big city. Once they got there, it was in cover of night, by the way, and gates just closed. They barely missed it, and they wanted to break down the door. The Dragonborn did. That, and let you know, the Dragonborn's alignment is. He has said originally he's going to stay around his alignment, and that's chaotic evil. But here's the thing: he his character was very smart, so I had him roll. I had him roll his intelligence because after his perception, he actually rolled a 17, and I told him, what you can see for guards, there's about 10 guards on the wall. You can see. And that's key word. You can see. Words. But anyways. As he starts to wanting to just try destroying this door with his breath. And rolled that. His character, and to let you know, I don't recommend doing this because sometimes the character can get mad, but he correct on his intelligence, and he decide he's like, wait a minute, this would be a bad idea because they could look us at enemies. And my human David, he decided to have Skylar because, well, she wanted to get to this city because she has her home here. They might let her in along with them, and as they were trying to do their persuasion, he rolled a 14. But then that was the first roll. He had advantage because Skylar was trying to do the same thing, basically persuasion. I rolled that. It was a 19 plus 3. And I do have a character sheet for Skylar, but we'll get into that in a minute. But anyways, as they start to look at this as a nice time to, well, negotiate and all that, my Dragonborn got locked up. And here's the thing: when they got in, rolling a d20, see what happens, when guards see you walking the streets when there's no one around. They thought she was gonna steal, items or that from shops, shoplift. So they lock her up for the night. And they said if you retaliate, they would, and they had a little horn for reinforcements. So if they blow it, a whole bunch of reinforcements are going to come. Then it would have been a massacre. But she went peacefully and David got a room at a hotel after getting in the city. Skylar went straight to home. And while all this was happening, another thing was happening, by the way. Before he knew it, they went basically walking up straight to. He went to pick her up first off. Then they went to her house. They were given the address, but not a description of the place. And it was like 100 gold pieces for bringing her there. And all that because, well, she couldn't do the trip by herself in one trip. Even, without by herself, she can't fly there in one night in a dragon form, and she has to walk somewhat from, 10 miles away. And that's still real far. And she would probably got there maybe in 3 minutes. But they speed that up for her and all that. And she had a pretty big house. It was like a nice 3-story mansion, probably 30 rooms. And there was actually a ballroom. It was like a manor. It's pretty huge. Well, I'm getting at here. But as they start to talk, she convinces both of them to, well, let's say, go retrieve her daughter. And at Shinano. And I'm going to talk about some political stuff, turmoil that's happening in my game right now. There's a war going on. And the war ain't going so well. And it was going decent, but it's basically these two smaller nations going at it, being supported by these two Cold War nations. And it's not being pretty. And they're getting like new weaponry. And I'll get into that if we have episode 2. If we have episode 2, how you guys can do that is let's reach 3 likes. Then I'll actually no 3 is too much. About 1 like. That way I know you guys like this while I know this ain't the bad idea of doing this. Where I know they'll enjoy this. So that's how I'm gonna be fixing that right there. If this video gets even 1 like, I'm doing another video. But I'll have to say it probably won't be out for a week or 2. Like, I am trying to get out 1 video a week. It's just getting difficult, alright? And hopefully you guys can forgive me in the long run, but that's something I'll have to say. But anyways, war's happening. My characters are going to a pretty big, decent sized city. It's called Shinano. And I got all these, like, I took names from many cultures, like Japanese cultures, from, like, Jewish, Polish, Swedish. Like, that's where all my names come from. Most of them, though, come from Roman and Greek, by the way. Or they have some influence on that, or medieval Europe. That's also another thing I'm doing. And I'm a history geek, so there's going to be, if there's an episode 2, it'll be amazing. And please, guys, if you guys even like listening to these stories, then please tell me how the audio is. That way, I know, well, it's recording decent. I might try getting a small little microphone. And if it sounds good, I'll get one, but like that's something I'm trying to get my hands on a microphone so that it's easier to record with you guys. But anyways, guys, if you haven't, subscribe, comment, and like if you guys want more. And if you guys subscribe, hit that notification icon, please. Thank you. And see you later.